There exists a mental technique that has been taught for decades. A technique with the absolute power to completely transform the financial energy of any individual who applies it with sincerity. This is not a matter of empty affirmations or superficial, positive thinking, which often acts as a mere bandage over a deep-seated wound. No, this is a spiritual science. It is a precise method that recognizes a fundamental, bedrock truth of the universe: abundance does not come from the outside world. It is manifested from a transformed consciousness. When the individual mind aligns itself with the divine mind, and when thoughts of not enough are systematically replaced by a clear understanding of the infinite nature of the Creator, something extraordinary begins to happen. The very energy that surrounds your relationship with money changes radically. What once generated paralyzing anxiety and fear now becomes a natural, rhythmic flow of divine supply. Emmet Fox discovered that thousands of people live in mental prisons of scarcity. They believe that their lack of money is a permanent, external reality that they are victims of. But he knew a secret they did not. Poverty is not an external condition. It is a state of consciousness that can be completely overhauled through the correct understanding of spiritual principles. This technique has liberated countless people from financial anguish, not because they suddenly attracted money through magic, but because they transformed their mental and spiritual relationship with the concept of abundance. And that internal transformation always, without exception, reflects itself in external, tangible, and lasting results. Consider the story of Raul, a merchant in Mexico City. For years, Raul struggled against a tide of rising debt. Opportunities seemed to slip through his fingers at the very last moment. He worked grueling hours, exhausting himself physically and mentally, but the money simply would not flow toward him. His mind was dominated by scarcity thinking, a constant loop of worry, and a deep-seated belief that he would never truly be prosperous. One day, Raul encountered these teachings on the consciousness of abundance. At first, it seemed too simple to be true. How could changing his thoughts possibly pay his creditors? But, having nothing left to lose, he decided to practice the technique exactly as taught, without mental reservations. For 30 days, Raul worked scientifically on changing his mental blueprint. He did not pray for money. Instead, he worked on recognizing the infinite nature of God's supply. Each morning, he dedicated time to acknowledging that the universe is inherently wealthy. Whenever a thought of lack entered his mind, he immediately replaced it with the spiritual truth of divine provision. The results appeared in ways he could never have planned. New clients walked through his door spontaneously. Business opportunities emerged from the most unexpected places. Within 6 months, Raul had not only cleared his debts, but was experiencing a steady financial flow that previously seemed impossible. Most importantly, his internal relationship with money was healed. To understand how this transformation occurs, you must grasp the 3 fundamental pillars of this teaching. The first pillar is the absolute realization that the divine mind is the only true source of all good, including material provision. In this world, we often mistake the channel for the source. Your job, your business, or your investments are merely channels through which the supply flows, but they are not the source itself. Money is simply an external symbol of an internal state. When the consciousness changes, the manifestation must change, just as a shadow must change when the object casting it moves. The second pillar is the recognition that thoughts of scarcity are spiritual lies. Regardless of what your bank balance or the news reports may say, the immutable truth is that the abundance of the universe is infinite and available to all. To cling to thoughts of lack is to reject the divine inheritance that belongs to you by spiritual right. Just as there is no shortage of air for you to breathe, there is no shortage of substance in the divine mind. The third pillar is the systematic use of metaphysical treatment. This is not begging, nor is it pleading with a distant God to change his mind. It is the scientific work of replacing limiting mental patterns with spiritual truth. It is the act of affirming with spiritual authority that divine supply is flowing right now into every area of your life. It is the process of aligning the human mind with the divine mind, where abundance already exists. Perfect Complete Gemini said Part 2. The 7 steps of the scientific treatment for abundance, now that we have established the foundation. The understanding that your financial condition is the out-picturing of your inner state. We must move from theory into the laboratory of the mind. Emmet Fox taught that the most effective way to change any condition is through what he termed the scientific treatment. This is not a casual prayer of hope. It is a spiritual operation performed with the precision of a mathematician. To transform your financial energy, you must learn to apply these 7 specific steps with unwavering discipline. The case of Beatriz, moving from pleading to recognition. Consider the experience of Beatriz, a teacher in Guadalajara. For many years, Beatriz lived in a state of chronic, just enough. Her salary covered her basic needs, but there was never a surplus, never a sense of freedom. She had accepted this as her lot in life. When she prayed, she did so from a place of desperation, essentially telling the universe, "I am lacking, please help me." When she began to study the Fox method, she realized her mistake. She had been practicing the prayer of lack. By focusing on her bills, she was actually reinforcing them. Fox taught her that scientific prayer does not ask for something to be created. It recognizes what already exists in the divine mind. Beatriz stopped begging and started treating. Within 3 months of using the steps you are about to learn, an unexpected opportunity for specialized private tutoring appeared, offering a compensation that doubled her income. She didn't get more money. She expanded her consciousness to allow the abundance that was already there to flow through. The 7-step protocol for financial transformation to achieve a demonstration in your own life. Follow this protocol every morning without fail. Step 1. The practice of stillness. Quiet the mind. The first step is to get out of the way. You must stop the frantic, circular thinking about debts, prices, and how the money will come. Fox taught that a mind agitated by fear is like a choppy lake that cannot reflect the sun. Find a place where you will not be disturbed. Close your eyes and breathe. Command your surface mind to be still. You are preparing the soil for a new seed. Step 20. Recognition of the presence. Once quiet, turn your attention entirely away from the problem and toward the nature of God. Do not think about your bank account. Think about the infinite intelligence that runs the stars and the seasons. Recognize that God is the only real power. Where God is, there is no lack, no failure, and no limitation. This is the act of turning the golden key. Step 3. The specific denial. This is where the scientific work becomes active. When a thought of, "I cannot afford this," or "I am in debt," arises, you must meet it with a firm mental denial. You are not denying that the bill exists on the table. You are denying that it has the power to limit your life. Say to yourself, "This appearance of lack is a spiritual lie. It has no permanent reality. It is a shadow that must vanish before the truth." This clears the mental debris. Step 4a. The spiritual affirmation. Nature abhors a vacuum. Having denied the lie, you must now affirm the truth. This must be done with authority. The same authority a captain uses to command a ship. Declare, "The abundance of God is my true state. Divine supply is flowing into my experience now, meeting every requirement with grace and ease." You are not trying to make it true. You are announcing that it is true. Step 5e. Building the mental equivalent. A visualization. Fox emphasized that you can only have what you can mentally accept. If you cannot imagine yourself as a person of means, the money cannot stay with you. Visualize your life with the problem solved. Do not visualize the money itself. Visualize the freedom it provides. See yourself walking with a lighter step, paying your obligations with joy, and having a surplus to share. Feel the tone of prosperity. Step 6a. Mental maintenance. The vigila treatment is not finished when you open your eyes. You must maintain this consciousness throughout the day. Fox warned that 1 hour of worry can undo a morning of prayer. You must act as a sentry at the door of your mind. Every time a poverty thought knocks, you must refuse it entry and immediately repeat your affirmation. You are training your subconscious mind to accept a new reality. Step 7a. The seal of gratitude. Finally, you must give thanks. This is the most scientific part of the process. Giving thanks after you receive something is common. Giving thanks before the manifestation is proof of faith. It signals to your subconscious that the work is finished. Conclude your treatment by saying, "Thank you, Father, that this is done." Leave the how to the divine mind and go about your day in a state of quiet expectancy.